Hello everyone, this is Saeed Islam from Cloud Data Analytics channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Dataflow Gen2 in Microsoft Fabric platform. I'm going to talk about what is Dataflow Gen2, how to create a Dataflow Gen2, and I'll also show you how to extract, transform, and load data with Dataflow Gen2 within a Microsoft Fabric platform. Um, so what is Dataflow Gen2 exactly? Basically, Dataflow Gen2 is the new generation of Dataflow in Microsoft Fabric. It's the kind of next version of Power Query in Power BI experience that we used to use. Um, it's kind of redesigned with more powerful compute engines and data movement capabilities. Dataflow lets you easily transform and move data between different sources and destination through a very user-friendly interface. Let's go back to the Fabric portal and launch the Dataflow Gen2 engine and start transforming our dataset in our lakehouse. So I'm in the Microsoft Fabric portal. I already have some data files loaded into our lakehouse that I'm going to use in this demo session. I'll add the link of the sample data sets into the video descriptions. Just let's quickly go over these two sample data sets that we'll be working on. So first file is countries CSV, which has about two columns, just the country name and country code. And the second file has it's a mortality data sets. It has about 7 columns that includes country code, age group, gender, and number of death rates. So now we're going to launch the Dataflow Gen2 to process this data. So from the Get Data menu, select New Data Flow Gen2. It's going to load our Dataflow Gen2 engine. Okay, let's change the Dataflow name to something more meaningful. We'll name it Mortality Data. Dataflow Mortality Data. Hit enter. Now we have to connect with our lakehouse data source, those files that residing into our lakehouse. We'll select more. Let's type lakehouse. Select lakehouse. Hit next. From the tutorial video workspace, that's where our lakehouse is. We have global health lakehouse. Let's expand that lakehouse folder. And let's expand that files folder. Select the countries and mortality data, these two data files. Click create. And this is how our data flow is connected to the source files. So now that we have this two table loaded into our data flow engine, we'll let's do some transformation, data transformation. Very first thing we want to do is we need to make this country tables looks prettier basically. So as you can see, it has column 1 and column 2 as column header, which is not a clean data sets names. So we want to make this country code and country name first row as a header, and it's pretty straightforward. We'll select use first row as a header, and Let's see how long it takes. Then we have to do the same thing for mortality data sets. Good. We see the country code and country name looks much better as column header. So let's do the same thing for mortality data. Everything is taking a little time. See, column 1, column 2 through 6. This is very awkward. So we'll do the same thing. Use first row as header, and it will replace all the header with the first row. Perfect. One thing to notice is if you use Power Query in the Power BI experience in the past, you would know, or if you're familiar with Power BI, you would know this. All these steps we are performing, it's all the applied steps are recorded here. So anytime we want to go back to any given steps and scratch from project, scratch the project, start the project from the scratch, you will just close some of these and start from wherever you want to wish to for. Okay, me sucks. So next thing we'll be doing is we'll combine these two data sets into one data set. And to do that, we go to merge queries, merge query as new. It's selected country by default, country data. We'll select the second set data sets, mortality data, and we'll select key field to join. In our case, country code is the key field that we'll be joining to. And for the join kind, we'll select inner join, click OK. And it will load a brand new table with all the data fields from both tables. It's taking a little time now because everything's taking time because I'm on my trial capacity right now. This is the development phase, but anytime once you move to a higher capacity pricing model for your production load, it's going to be much faster and performance will increase significantly. So one thing you see that country code, country name from country table, and it loaded. You see these tables means you have to do a little bit of work here. You just see this this icon, and you just deselect everything. We wanna actually select everything and just take off the country code because you already have the country code in the country table, so it's just a duplicate names. So take off, hit OK. It's taking a few more seconds. Okay, so next thing we'll do, we'll just change the name, rename, remove all the space in between the field names. And to do that, we will right click, renames, and hit remove the space there. Okay, we'll do the same thing for rest of the fields. So we're done. So now that we have both data sets loaded into our Dataflow Gen2 platforms, let's perform some of the data transformations. As you can see, the column names are showing up as column 1 and column 2. We need to make the first row as a column header to make it look cleaner. And to do that, from the top menu, we'll select first row as header, which will make your first row as a column header. We'll wait a few seconds for this. Okay, now it looks proper column headers are there, country code, country name. Let's do the same thing for mortality data sets. We'll select use first row as headers. Okay, it's completed. All the column headers now looks perfect. So next thing we'll be doing is we'll join these two data tables into one. And to do that, we'll select the merge query as a new one. By default, let's select the countries first, and then select the mortality data, and select the joining fields, which is in our case country codes. For join kind, we'll select inner join and hit OK. Let's wait to create our final data tables. Okay. So this is our final table, which combines both data tables, countries, and mortality data. Can probably name these as, let's rename this something more meaningful. Final mortality data. Hit enter. Now, next thing we'll have to do, as you can see, it selected the country code and country name fields, but here we need to expand this table. It added the table mortality data, but we need to select all the fields from that table. As you can see, since we have a country code already exists into the country tables, we will deselect that field, and rest of the fields looks okay. We'll hit OK. It will give us the complete data sets combining two tables. So we did joining a few other cleaning steps we need to do. We need to clean up the header names, which I mean, we need to remove the space in between all these column headers. To do that, we'll select rename and hit enter. Just remove the rest of the column header names. Country name. Then we have the year looks okay. Age groups needs to remove that space also. I'll remove that. And number of deaths fields. It's a little slow. Number of deaths. And last one is death rate per 100,000. We'll rename the column header with removing a space, and we'll probably take out this 100,000. Don't need this. Okay, so this is our complete table with all the column headers. And one last thing we'll doing is we'll do some filterings. We would like to see a death rate where it's showing more than 1,000 at least. So to do that, let's go to the filter section. From the menu, we'll select filter rows. Then we'll select is greater than. So basically it's saying keep rows where death rate is greater than 1,000. We'll add 1,000 here and hit OK. We'll filter the data set. So, So with that, basically, most of the data transformation we wanted to do, it's completed. So now one more last thing we need to do here. Actually, we need to do two things before finalizing this transformation data flow with the data flow. We need to set up a destination table for this final mortality data. And to do that, you go to select add data destination from the menu, select Lakehouse, and just select the next, keep everything as default. And you select the workspace and the Lakehouse folders here. Keep the name as default, final mortality data. Hit next. Now it's just showing what data types would look like here, and everything we just keep it as default, and you just hit save settings here. As you can see, it sets up the Lakehouse as our data destinations. So very final thing we'll be doing is publish the workflow, that all the work we've done so far. And as soon as you publish the workflow, Dataflow will start refreshing the data, which will eventually create our the final mortality data tables into our lakehouse. So our refresh completed. Let's go check out our data lakes now. We should have some tables available. Okay, our final mortality data tables available as a Delta format. So this is our table that we can use to create our final reports. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and share. Please subscribe to my channel for future videos on Microsoft Fabric and other data analytics related topics. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Thank you.